Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to discuss, well, at least for me, I got inspired by Alpha J Alpha and his series on how he would improve already notoriously bad plots or character types in animation. And I thought I'd do that with Family Guy's residential butt monkey, Meg Griffin. And ironically, Meg is my favorite character because she shows what it's like to be in a family that would constantly abuse you in real life on television. She would obviously have some mental problems and some problems kind of identifying what's going on around her and what consists as love and actual loving behavior. And I like how the show finally started to tone down their abuse of Meg, but at the same time, a lot of her plots end up getting thrown away really quickly, and she still gets disrespected by her family. And the reason why notoriously is because Seth MacFarlane shows, because having a very large male writing staff, they actually claimed at one point they don't know how to write for a female teenage girl. I mean, like a female teenager. They just said, well, we don't know what to do with her, and we thought it'd be funny for her to be used for slapstick. Which does not really make a lot of sense, especially in comparison to how they portray the other daughters of Seth MacFarlane's anime shows, Roberta and Haley. Roberta, as a teenager, she's given a bit more respect because she dishes out as much as she takes, and she's secretly smart, and she has a lot of friends, and she's kind of written better, but unfortunately they don't use her as much. And with Haley, since she's already out of high school, she's a college student, and they gave her more to work with. The only times they really wrote her out of anything was when she and Jeff ran off for a few episodes and got married. So for this, I decided, why not give Meg a spinoff? Now I know what you're gonna say. It's probably not gonna be as much of a character change as with the Cleveland show. But hear me out. It takes place several years in the future at Meg's college graduation. Her parents have come out to support her in their own special ways. Chris has come. Stewie and Brian are the most supportive. Lois is fainting because she more or less wants attention to be on her. And Peter's just bored, so he and Chris go to a baseball game. Meg is asked about what she wants to do for her career, as she did graduate number 2 in her class. A joke that will probably get a laugh out of Peter or Chris. And she decides to take her degree. And I don't know if she would. I don't want to stick her with the stereotypical female jobs in television, which is where she's either a chef, a doctor, or in the ER, or a writer. But unfortunately, most thing I could think of her being would be a writer. And her family obviously expecting her to move back in with them to be their lightning rod, because they found that they're not very good at living without her that way. And Meg thinks about it and realizes she wants to live out on her own. And she decides to, against the wishes of her parents and especially her mom, she borrows some money from her grandparents and sets up shop in, gosh, I do not know different regions of Rhode Island where she would go. But not even Rhode Island. Maybe she would go to somewhere that's not usually depicted, like Ohio or North Carolina or Georgia. Let's go with that. Let's take her to Georgia or Michigan. Somewhere for her to really hone her craft. And she's joined by her roommate. By a roommate who ends up becoming her best friend. And this is all after a final forget you to her entire family for not thinking of her wants and needs after using her as a lightning rod, except for Brian and Stewie, because they're the only ones that really care about her, like the little cinnamon rolls they are. And she heads off in her own car that she ends up buying. Well, she at least bought before college. And her roommate would happen to be Lisa Simpson. Now, I know what you guys are wondering. What in the world is Lisa Simpson doing here? Now, if you recall from the Family Guy Simpsons crossover, the two girls, since all the people in different from both families are paired off with their counterparts to kind of show what kind of people they are. Meg and Lisa actually hit it off pretty well, probably the best out of the entire family. Since Lisa helped Meg with her self-esteem, and Meg kind of gave her some insight on what it's like to be a teenager, and even let her know that she matters with this, and taught her how to play the saxophone. I think that Lisa, while still being younger than her, she would probably be Meg's roommate, just to get away from her family, to expand her horizons, and perhaps get emancipation so she can live on her own before going to Harvard. And two, to make money by playing as a saxophone player in a big orchestra, or at least in a jazz bar. And the two girls would come together and, well, we're not going to focus mainly on boys, but they would have some love interests. They would have other activities like going parasailing or something like their dads, but not as callous. And they're not probably doing completely stupid things, but then again, they are the products of their own shows. And more or less, they could be deconstructions of the usual animated female archetypes, like the dumped down teenage daughter who's in the background. She actually wants a life and may become sort of a dumb adrenaline junkie, while Lisa is there to kind of hold her back, but at the same time let her know, hey, yeah, we still need to have a life, have some excitement, but still have a life. And Meg, for her, would be the one to kind of spice things up. Now, I'm not saying that Lisa would be the Marge Simpson of this, but I would say that Lisa would be this fiercely independent foil to Meg, who would still need someone emotionally to depend on. And I feel like the first thing they would do as soon as they move in together, Lisa gives Meg a makeover, which is with Meg eventually finding her own style. For one thing, she gets rid of the hat. She no longer wears her beanie. She gets a new hairstyle that when I was originally drawing her, I didn't want to make her look exactly like Lois. And I realized that as soon as I started drawing the top of her head, I thought, oh no, she can't look like her mama. I gave her a bit more wavy hair, wavy locks. And then I realized, well, it still looks kind of like her old hairstyle, but just wavy. So I decided to put her hair in a bun in the back, along with a nice scarf and a sweater and a tunic, but still wearing some matching pants and her shoes. And with Lisa, she's already come of age, and as Macaroni said, she would probably be one of the few people to leave Springfield. She's wearing an adapted version of her old orange dress, but with a new button-down shirt under it and some leggings, well, jeggings. And I always remembered something that was really interesting, that Lisa was the only Simpsons member to never wear blue. And I wanted to at least put in a little bit of blue to show that she came to her own into the world. And I decided to give her a headband because there was this joke where the kids actually were wondering where does our hairline start. Well, now Lisa knows, and she always wants to mark it with the headband. The two have their own cats, named after feminist icons Dorothy Parker and controversial feminine figure Wallace Simpson, which they know that they're the only ones that are going to get the jokes, and they're going to enjoy it. And I feel like the series ending, well, not with a time skip, but I know there's going to be at least a Thanksgiving episode. There will be a Thanksgiving episode where each of them go back to their respective families. Probably one, depending on the season of the first season, Meg avoids trying to go back to her family for Thanksgiving. So she decides to go with Lisa back to Springfield, where she's at least slightly accepted better. And maybe like the next time the family comes to her before she can run off. And Lisa's the one there that's actually her tether. And in the third one, they eventually, not meet people, but at least they have some significant others whose names I cannot think of because they haven't been thought of in my mind, to at least stay there with them. And also count not even as lightning rods, but at least to bounce off ideas and have actual healthy relationships with them. So that's my video, and this is our art. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you'd like to support the artist, please become a patron or donate to my Patreon and follow me on Twitter. Bye.